This is Nightline.
Tonight, the family of the man who died after riding a roller coaster in Orlando speaking out.
It's like a nightmare. I'm still waiting to wake up.
What they are now demanding. Plus, the golden scam inside what the FBI calls an escalating problem conning grandparents.
For older adults alone, they lost $4.9 billion.
Scammers using voice technology to target the most trusting family members, posing as their grandkids.
I knew it was him when he spoke. It just couldn't have been anybody else.
What you could do to protect yourself. And high potential.
Is this what the inside of your mind looks like?
Oh, buddy, not even close.
Starring Kaitlin Olson, known for hit shows like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I am learning some amazing moves from this guy.
Now taking us behind the scenes of the new season of her popular series.
This is it. Here's our beautiful precinct.
Plus, Lilith Fair, inside the all-women's music tour that defined an era.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, new developments in the death of a man who died last week after riding a roller coaster at a Universal theme park in Orlando. His family today coming forward, calling for answers and justice. Here's ABC's Victor Akendo.
Tonight, the heartbroken family of the man who died after riding a roller coaster at Universal Epic Universe demanding answers.
It is so difficult because I have no idea what happened there. And I don't have my kid.
What has this been like for you?
It's like a nightmare. I'm still waiting to wake up.
Last Wednesday, 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala was riding the Stardust Racer roller coaster with his girlfriend when authorities say he lost consciousness. Kevin pronounced dead at the hospital, the medical examiner citing multiple blunt impact injuries, calling the manner of death accidental. Kevin, an avid roller coaster enthusiast, was born with spinal cord atrophy and used a wheelchair. His family insists he had no other underlying medical conditions.
For you, Kevin's family, what does justice look like?
We just want it to be safer, make it so that everybody can enjoy it and not have to go through this again.
Our thanks to Victor. Universal saying we are devastated by this event. So far, they say an internal investigation has found that the ride systems functioned as intended, adding our team members followed procedures. The ride remains closed as it undergoes a comprehensive review. We turn now to an inside look at the so-called Grandparent scam. Family members targeted with phone calls from fraudsters posing as their loved ones, begging for money immediately to get out of supposed emergencies. Here's ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky.
I knew that was his voice. It just couldn't have been anybody else.
Shirley Morrow answered her phone and says she instantly recognized her grandson Joseph, a Marine who visited her often. But this panicked phone call alarmed her.
He says, I hit a lady in a car who was 8 months pregnant, and she is in the hospital, and I'm in jail.
Crying and in shock, Shirley says Joseph handed the phone to another man claiming to be an attorney.
The man said, well, if you can raise $9,000, the charge will be dropped and Joseph will be released.
The 91-year-old rushed to her bank, taking out the full amount in cash, not realizing she'd actually fallen victim to an all-too-common scam.
It's called the grandparent scam because the scammer will pretend to be a grandchild and call their older adult relative and pretend to be in distress.
Shirley's case is just one of tens of thousands reported nationwide. Tonight, a look inside the technology aggressive scammers are using to mimic voices and trick seniors, plus rare insight from the FBI as they crack down on this rampant problem.
A new report from the FBI detailing how much money Americans lost to scams last year.
Those who lost more than $100,000 increased significantly.
More than a dozen people facing federal charges for an alleged scam targeting more than 400 seniors.
Rebecca Keithley, an assistant section chief with the FBI's financial crime section, says these grandparent scams are exploding in popularity because they're so lucrative.
Last year, for older adults alone, they lost $4.9 billion.
That's just what was reported.
We know that those numbers are underreported. Scams have gone global. Highly organized criminal syndicates are now running massive scamming compounds.
In Massachusetts, the Justice Department says 13 people running an alleged call center in the Dominican Republic tricked more than 400 older Americans out of millions. In Vermont, prosecutors say dozens of older residents lost more than $21 million to a ring of alleged scammers arrested in Canada, some with nicknames like Muscles and Blondie.
If you factor in cryptocurrencies, peer-to-peer payment apps, criminals are using the international banking system to launder the funds faster than ever.
So the likelihood of recovery is pretty grim.
Unfortunately, that's the case.
You think about security, and the weakest link is not the technology or the devices we use, it's people.
John Hammond is a cybersecurity expert who says seniors in particular may be more vulnerable to scammers.
If it's something presented as a dire situation, they want to be there because that's grandma, that's grandpa, that's what they do.
The latest tool being used to trick seniors? Artificial intelligence.
How are the scammers weaponizing AI to target especially elderly people?
It's taking advantage of all the information and data that we have already been willingly putting out onto the internet.
Bad actors can use that publicly available data to copy someone's likeness and speech. My colleague Whit Johnson got a demonstration from another expert to show just how easily an AI-generated recording can be made.
It is me, Whit. Please listen carefully. I have been abducted and am being held in a basement, tied up in the dark. Please follow their instructions. Do not notify the authorities.
You look scared, Whit.
Well, I mean, I am. That's very believable.
Hammond says when it comes to AI, almost everyone is vulnerable.
Your voicemail message might say, hey, I can't get to the phone right now, leave a message. And that's what, 3 seconds? The minimum for a lot of these AI training services and solutions is about 10 seconds for audio.
But a 3-second voicemail message plus, a 10-second Facebook video or something, now you're talking.
Oh, yeah.
The FBI says scams specifically using AI resulted in losses of more than $527 million from January to July this year. That's up nearly 200% from the same time in 2024.
How are you supposed to distinguish in that moment whether you're being taken advantage of?
The biggest technique that the FBI encourages was what we're calling the take a beat campaign, to pause, take a breath, verify. One of the things that the scammers prey upon is that sense of urgency and secrecy.
While Shirley isn't sure if scammers used AI to copy her grandson's voice, she says she was sure of urgent demands for money from his supposed attorney.
He kept saying, you just get the money and Joseph will be released and the charges will be dropped. And I thought, well, I got to get that money.
Shirley says she made up a story so bank tellers wouldn't question her.
I told them I needed $9,000 cash, and they wanted to know why. I told them that I had workers in my house. They want their money in cash. They looked at me and they were very suspicious and worried. I had to lie to them to get the money.
Once home, she says she handed over the cash to a driver sent by the so-called attorney.
Bank tellers are often the first line of defense, and we train our bankers to recognize the signs.
Deidre Porcher helps run scam education workshops nationwide for J.P. Morgan Chase, which is not Shirley's bank.
We tell our customers, don't respond to text messages from numbers that are strange, and don't trust caller ID. We also encourage families to establish a code word so that if a family member is in distress, they can indicate that something's not quite right.
Porcher also advises people to verify what's happening is real.
We encourage customers to hang up the phone and then use information they have access to. Flip over your credit card and call the number on the back of the card. Reach out directly to whomever you intend to speak to.
Law enforcement groups are also trying to raise awareness. This FBI seminar on elder fraud hosted by Genesis Healthcare aims to make families and caregivers aware of scams before they happen.
A lot of those robo phone calls that you're also receiving to your phone, if you don't recognize the number, don't pick it up. Because if you pick it up, it lets somebody know that it's a valid phone number.
Where are you in the combat of these things? Can you keep up?
We know that a number of the complaints we received are connected to the same networks. And so we are working hard to identify the networks and freeze the monies.
Ideally, victims should report the scam to law enforcement right away.
What happens if you realize it a year later? Can you do anything about it?
There's very little that we can do to recover the funds. However, that complaint is still very important to the FBI. That piece of information that victim provides might help us uncover the larger network.
But how embarrassing it must be to come forward and tell the FBI, I just got scammed.
Those feelings are understandable: anger, shame, embarrassment. They might be scared that they're going to lose their sense of independence. We like to reframe it as, you're helping others.
You're hungry, aren't you?
Shirley says that's exactly why she's speaking out, even though she reported her scam to police and never got her money back.
I want other people to know that just because they're older doesn't mean that they have no ability to protect themselves. I just figure they need the warning from somebody who's been through it. You're being a good girl.
Our thanks to Aaron. Up next, we're with Kaitlin Olson behind the scenes of her hit series High Potential, what she says is the most intimidating part of playing a genius. You may know Kaitlin Olson from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Her character on her hit show High Potential, though, is pretty much the opposite, playing a genius detective who brings her hyper-intellect to the job. Here's ABC's Roxy Diaz making her Nightline debut.
I would never want to have my IQ tested. I would just be so disappointed. All I know is that my EQ is off the charts.
Okay.
And that's really all you need.
Your energy is vibing.
Kaitlin Olson is bringing the energy and the brains to the second season of hit ABC show High Potential.
Why is no one picking up their phones? I've been texting like a maniac.
Good morning, Morgan. Welcome back.
Playing a single mom who uses her above-average IQ to help the LAPD solve crimes.
Is this what the inside of your mind looks like?
Oh, buddy, not even close.
Is Morgan's intelligence ever intimidating to you when you read it?
Yes, not when I read it. Morgan's intelligence is intimidating to me when I have to memorize it and then spout it out as if it's just like second nature. Sometimes those are the hardest scenes.
The Pillsbury variation. In chess, it's a variation of the Queen's Gambit declined. A move in which black declines white's temporary pawn sacrifice to establish a solid position.
160 IQ. I'm not smart enough to even know what that really means.
Same girl. Look, I'm a mom, I'm a multitasker. You can put me in any situation, I'll figure it out. That's all I need. I don't need a number. But what I do love about Morgan is that she is underestimated. And whether it's based on what she looks like, what she's wearing, the fact that she's a woman, people underestimate her, and she's used to that all of her life, and she doesn't need to fight back about it. She just lets the work do the talking.
Olson, too, lets her work do the talking. Known for starring in hit shows like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, playing the chaotic Sweet D.
I am learning some amazing moves from this guy.
And as the daughter of a star stand-up comedian in Hacks on HBO Max.
My mom gave me everything I have: a house, an education, crippling anxiety, bipolar disorder, multiple subpoenas.
Olson earning praise for her performance in High Potential.
The technical term is high potential intellectual. It means you have advanced cognitive abilities, intellectual creativity, photographic memory, stuff like that. But I don't know, I've just always been this way.
How much fun is it to be able to play literally 3 totally different characters in all of these different fields?
I really feel like the luckiest person in the world. And that was a little bit by design. I mean, every step of the way, I was like, okay, I have this. Now I want to do a completely different character. So when this came along, I was like, this is so much different than Sweet D or Mickey or DJ. Yeah, I mean, I recognize how rare that is.
You're waiting on me to leave so you can poke around without a warrant, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now the actress who is also an executive producer on the show.
This is it. Here's our beautiful precinct.
Taking us behind the scenes.
And this is Soto's office, which I absolutely love. One of the things I'm most proud of about this show is that we are blending two completely different tones. It is a crime procedural, but at the heart of it is a very well-rounded, fully human woman with a big heart.
And you guys actually have detectives from the LAPD who consult on the show. So what do they say about the show?
I don't ask. I mean, I hope I make them all proud.
Mhm.
I'm a person who's like, I'm such a perfectionist. I want to make sure we're doing absolutely everything right. At a certain point, we consult, we do our best. I fact check everything. We do our due diligence, we do it, and then I gotta let it go.
In season 2, Morgan facing off against the game maker and solving crimes with her signature style.
Do you ever go into Morgan's closet and borrow something for the weekend?
Do you know what's so funny? Rob and I, so he's got Welcome to Wrexham. So every time Wrexham gets promoted, which has happened three times now, we've taken the team to Vegas, and I absolutely have gone into Morgan's closet and been like, I'm going to Vegas this weekend, so I'm going to raid this closet. It's a perfect closet to raid.
Are you a good detective in real life?
I know when you're lying. I know when my kids are lying. I know when people are lying. I don't maybe know what the right answer is, but I can absolutely tell when someone's not telling the truth.
I love that. Are you a true crime junkie?
Yes.
So do you ever try to solve the crimes a la Morgan while you're watching true crime before it ends?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. It's always the boyfriend or the husband. So
did you just give us the plot of what happens in season 2?
That's it. That's my big spoiler.
Our thanks to Roxy, and welcome to the Nightline family. High Potential airs Tuesdays on ABC and streams on Disney Plus and Hulu. When we come back, we're inside the trailblazing all-women's Lilith Fair with Sarah McLachlan. And finally tonight, a look back at the groundbreaking Lilith Fair.
A new documentary, Lilith Fair, Building a Mystery, tells the story of the first all-female music festival tour from the late 90s.
I was in disbelief that I'd never heard of it before. And also just thinking that the name sounded really cool. Lilith Fair, wow, that's really interesting.
Lilith Fair was Sarah McLachlan's idea. She was the engine behind it. Her struggles with the strict gender norms of the 90s music industry inspiring her to create a more inclusive type of concert.
I remember going down to LA, the A&R guy was like, well, you know, if you lost 5 pounds, you know, we could do this with you. They're looking at my hair going, oh, if we could do this and fix it. And I came down there feeling, just fine about my body, never gave it a second thought. Then I realized that I was missing that sense of connection and community. I feel lonely. This is a weird job, and it would be so nice to connect with other women who are doing a similar thing to me. But that's when promoters started saying, you can't do this. Saying, you can't put 2 women on the same bill, people won't come, which was complete.
Be sure to stream Lilith Fair, Building a Mystery on Disney Plus and Hulu. That's Nightline. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.